Hello and welcome to another special edition of DC Sports for Life. I'm your host, Dave.
I'm your host, Mike D.
And I'm Matt.
Okay, guys, earlier today we talked Redskins. Tonight we're just going to talk about, first of all, the big hockey game at Nationals Park tomorrow. CAPS!
Caps, I guess you want me to say?
Yeah, okay, good job. So anyway, big hockey game against the Chicago Blackhawks, and a lot like the Winter Classic of 2011, going to be an uphill battle for the Capitals for the entire 60 minutes. On paper, it looks like they're outmatched again. Blackhawks, very good 5-on-5 team, best penalty kill in the NHL. Capitals, for a while, had the best power play, but currently is struggling. I think it's going to take, all hands on deck. Big game from Alex Ovechkin. Hopefully Brooks Orpik is okay to play. We're going to need Braden Holtby to match the intensity of Crawford, the goalie for the Chicago Blackhawks. Very fast, very good passing hockey team. Usually win a lot of 5-on-5 battles. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Caps the entire time.
Improvisation.
It's my video going.
It's going to be hard for the Caps. Go ahead.
It's going to be hard for the Caps. Another big factor that we didn't talk about is the sunlight at Nationals Park. We noticed how it is during a day game. A lot of the Capitals had to wear eye black today to practice, and there's some talk about them pushing the game back. So it's at a later time of the day, so the sun isn't as intense.
How wussy is that?
Do you think it's wussy?
I think it is, because the Nationals have to play in that stadium, and if they play a 4 o'clock game, the sun creeps in and there's shadows, and they're pitching 90 miles an hour. These guys are throwing around a puck, and they're crying because the sun's in their eyes. I don't think so.
First of all, that puck will go faster than 90 miles an hour after a good slap shot. Also, I think it puts them both at a competitive disadvantage. And also, baseball is not a contact sport. You don't have 250-pound guys checking you into glass. So I think that maybe that's something to consider. I still think it is something to consider. Bottom line, Capitals have their work cut out for tomorrow. We certainly hope they come home with a W. Speaking of Nationals Park, Mike, a big signing by the Nationals this week, or maybe it's not a big signing. They signed Dan Uggla, who's struggled the last couple of years. Second baseman, formerly of the Braves and the Giants. There was a report that came out that the reason he struggled, that he was playing hurt. What's going to happen with the second base position for the Washington Nationals, Mike?
Well, I do not want Dan Uggla being our second baseman. First of all, I don't even like his batting stance, okay? If I don't like your batting stance, then I don't want you on my team. But, no, I had a thing. He was just with the Braves. He had one good season, and...
got that monster...
I think he had a hit streak.
And he got that monster extension with that contract.
Right, yeah, and then he just fell off. He's just not that great of a player, and that's why that's why the Braves wanted to get rid of him, and we're signing him to a minor league deal. Now, when it comes to our second base need, we just got, as Drupal Cabrera just signed with the Tampa Bay Rays, and, that's a loss, but it's okay. He's great defensively, but, he only did hit 240, and since the Rays got him, they have a bunch of other players that are up for grabs, like Escobar and Ben Zobrist. Now, Escobar is signed through 2016, but Ben Zobrist has been heavily marketed, and they really want to offer a trade for Zobrist. And he's a 270 career hitter, and him and Miguel Cabrera are the only people in the last 6 years to have a WAR, win above replacement, of 4.5 or better. And I think anytime you're put in a category with Miguel Cabrera, you're doing something right, and I think he'd be a good addition.
Well, certainly. I guess no faith in Danny Espinosa.
Maybe if he only hits right-handed, but they said he's going to just switch to just batting right-handed, where he bats by 270, 280.
He hits for a better average right-handed, hits for more power.
So that's to be seen, but the job is open.
Matt, before we came on the air tonight, you were talking about the departure of Adam LaRoche. You seem to be okay with that. What makes you okay with the Nats parting ways with Adam LaRoche?
I feel like he's been inconsistent from season to season. I feel like he's been overpaid a lot of the time. He's a useful player, but for a first baseman, you have to be a really good hitter. Like, I hear they're putting Ryan Zimmerman over there. He's got some hitting skills, can't really play third base anymore. Since his injuries.
But I think the main reason for that is, as you said, we need Ryan Zimmerman's bat in the lineup.
Exactly.
course.
So, what are you kind of expecting out of Ryan Zimmerman at first base? Like, since you said that you started to describe your prototypical first baseman on a successful baseball team, what should we expect from Ryan Zimmerman if the Nationals going to have another successful season?
They need to hit for power and for some accuracy. I mean, he's got to be able to get on base, but also to clean up. You can't have him come to the plate, as I saw Adam Rose do too many times in a high leverage situation, strike out, hit into a double play, hit some weak grounder up over the middle. He's got to be able to make a play when it counts.
And there's one thing that Ryan Zimmerman has been and always will be throughout his career. The guy has been clutch. You don't call him Mr. Walk-Off for no reason. But hopefully we do see a lot of that at Nationals Park this spring. Mike, do you think Ryan Zimmerman keeps the 3 spot, or Matt, do you see him shifting down to the cleanup spot?
Well, moving to first base, those are usually power hitters at first base, and you usually want to put them in a cleanup spot. But you usually put your best hitter in the 3-hole. And I don't see, if he's healthy, I don't see any reason for him not to be batting third. To quote FP Santangelo, Ryan Zimmerman, some guys, they need time to get back into their rhythm. But Ryan Zimmerman wakes up and rakes. He just wakes up in the morning and he rakes. He could turn out about 8 a.m. and not miss a beat. So I think he is our best hitter when he's healthy, and we got to put him in that 3-hole.
Matt, from a statistical standpoint, do you think it's going to make a huge impact whether Ryan Zimmerman bats in the 3 or 4 hole?
I mean, like you say, it's always better to get your best batters up to the plate as many times as you can. And that means, if you put him in the 3-hole, you're guaranteed he's going to get up there first inning of the game. Have a little better chance of getting a few more at-bats over the course of the season. And Ryan Zimmerman's been more than just a masher. He's hit 300 for an extended period of time. The guy can also get on base, which is, important as well. It's great when you hit the home run, but day to day, you're only going to hit so many home runs in the season. You got to be able to get on base, make good contact, hit the doubles, hit the triples, and he can do that as well. So I'm glad to see him get to the plate as often as he can.
And, speaking of on-base guys, I'm really happy about the extension they signed for Denard Span. There's one thing the guy did well last year was get on base, even if he wasn't getting a hit. I think, not to quote Moneyball too much, but definitely, a move like that can kind of show us that sometimes it's not how hard the guy hits the ball, but sometimes whether or not the guy reaches base, because you can't score runs if guys aren't getting on base. All right, so we're ready to shift gears, talk about the winning Washington Wizards, even though suffering kind of a tough loss last night. But last time we signed off, they were getting all set to play the Chicago Bulls. Mike, we were just out. We were talking about what happened. Did you see a lot of similarities between that and the Phoenix game, how they lost against the Bulls, or do you think they lost against the Bulls for different reasons?
I kind of think that we suffered kind of a hangover from that loss. We went in there, and at first it seemed like we were keeping up with them, and then we just kind of faded out. And, a lot of that has to do with the lineup changes. I think that there's been a lineup change because Marcel Webster is back in the mix now, and now Otto Porter's not getting playing time. I mean, DeJuan Blair came in and did a pretty decent job. He's going to earn some more minutes. And so I think Randy Whitman is just trying to find the best combination of guys, and that's going to be our starting crew. Obviously, we want Nene and Gortat to be in there as starters, but I mean, Randy Whitman's going to go with his best 5 guys. So I don't think that it was a terrible loss to the Bulls, but definitely a lot of things we can improve upon.
And, I would say that I think part of the reason they lost to the Bulls is because we sat here on the net last week and said, you gotta, if Derrick Rose gets to the paint, you gotta hammer him. You gotta be bulls. The Bulls are getting all the loose balls, they're getting all the rebounds that the Wizards needed, and they just couldn't match their intensity. And I think that was just lack of focus. But I really did like the way they came out against the Knicks on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
They just came out there and bullied them. And
now people are taking notice.
John Wall. I mean, he's making highlight reels of those 360 layups, but I think the kind of question I want to ask to both of you guys is at what point, if he isn't already, at what point is the rest of the league going to start to recognize John Wall as one of the NBA's elite point guards? Matt, I'll let you start.
Well, he's almost there. He's an elite passer, elite speed. The one thing he can't do is he's not a great shooter yet. And if you look around the league at people, like Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, the elite guards, they all have a killer three-point shot. And having that shot just opens up space for the play to happen. You know, they have to respect you, whether you have the ball, people playing it close for you, you can blow by them a little more easily. It just adds another dimension, adds more spacing to the offense. And I think once Wall gets that three-point percentage up in the sort of upper 30s, and he can get it up there, will add another dimension to his game.
Well, Mike, as you said, Wall already an improved shooter. What aspect of his game do you think he should improve upon, or what do you think about his game right now already makes him one of the NBA's elite, if you already think he is?
Well, I think he absolutely is one of the game's elite. I mean, him, Chris Paul, Rondo, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, this is the kind of handful of guys that I think are elite. And what's made John Wall elite is his ability to have a higher percentage with his field goal percentage. And maybe he doesn't have the best three-point shot yet, but guess what? They said he couldn't shoot last year. He comes back this year and totally improves. This year we're saying, hey, you can't shoot a three-pointer. Next year I want to see him come back and be in the top 10 in three-point percentage.
Yeah, and one thing I'm kind of noticing from Wall this year is that late in the game, he's taking over ball games. That's something you see from legendary players. That's something you see from great leaders on a basketball team. There has to be times when your leader takes over a ball game. And for a while, the Wizards were missing that. We had the Agent Zero days of Gilbert Arenas, but I think every team needs a guy who can step up at the end of the game and take over. I mean, granted, they're not all going to be like Michael Jordan scoring, like 12 points against the Grizzlies in 2 minutes. But I think that you need a guy who can just come in at at a certain point of the game and take over. Matt, tough loss to Dallas Monday night. What happened?
Well, Dallas is a great offensive team. You can only slow them down so much. Dirk just adds a whole different dimension to the game that a lot of teams have trouble dealing with. What concerned me, though, was the offensive performance by the Wizards, because Dallas is not a good defensive team. But I saw, Wall driving into the paint, beating 3 bodies, and I feel like way too many possessions ended with a contested mid-range jumper. Now, in the Houston game, Beal was able to bail them out by hitting some really tough shots, and it's great that he hit those, but you can't rely on that from game to game. I feel like right now, Wall is the only player who can truly break the defense down, send guys scrambling, and make something happen. And when he's on the bench, or when he and Beal are on the bench especially, things just clog up a lot of the time.
Yeah, Beal put up great numbers. I think it was Monday night against Houston, or it was Monday night against Houston. It was Monday night against Houston. I think he put up 30 points. He got over 20 from Paul Pierce. Granted, yet we can't rely on Beal to put up those kind of numbers every night. Granted, I personally think he's going to be the next Ray Allen, but that's really optimistic thinking. But Matt, would you say that there needs to be better half-court sets, more passing, or?
Well, the passing is actually great. There's a couple ways you can deal with this, and one thing I think will work really well be a stretch 4, because I see Wall's driving in, the defense collapses on him, and Nene and Humphreys and Gortat, they can step out to the mid-range, but they can't take that last step out to the three-point line. If you can take that last step out, the defense has a tough choice. You can either give up a three-point shot, open three-pointer, or give up a layup. Those are the 2 most valuable shots in the game, whereas a semi-contested, semi-open mid-range shot, you can live with that. It goes in some of the time, but it's not the same deterrent as that guy at the three-point line who can knock it down at the 4 spot.
And speaking of three-point shooters, Mike, kind of a good problem to have in D.C. We have 2 guys coming off our bench now that can shoot threes. You got Martell Webster and you got Rasul Butler. How do you divide up playing time between those 2 guys?
Well, I can tell you how I would divide up the time.
Pretend you're Coach Mike. You just coach the Wizards for a day.
Okay.
How do you split up playing time?
Well, I would probably do what they have already done, which is diminish Otto Porter's playing time, just because he hasn't earned it. Whereas Martell Webster, he was one of the top 3-point shooters in the league last year, so you've got to give him his minutes when he's coming back off injury. And now that and Rasul Butler's been doing so great, you can't take his time away from him. Like, he's just that productive. So you got to balance the 2. Now, Otto Porter's going to take a back seat, and I would do the same thing. Otto Porter's young. He's still developing. He's going to get minutes when we're up by a lot. We'll throw him in the game, just to get him some floor time. But in the meanwhile, or in the meantime, we just got to balance our time between Rasul Butler and work on getting Martell Webster back in his rhythm, because it takes a while to get back into an NBA rhythm when you've been out for as long as he has.
Yeah, I don't believe in that whole thing. You can just play yourself into shape. Matt, what do you think this is how much do you think this will hinder Otto Porter's development as a player?
Well, I mean, you need minutes to develop, but at the same time, the Wizards have some pretty serious playoff aspirations, and they can't afford to give him time if he's not going to produce. So it's a tough situation for him. I know he had some injury struggle, in his rookie year, but he really hasn't come along as far as the Wizards would like. And to be frank, while he'd be a great luxury, they're doing okay without him. They don't need him in the short term. So you're probably not going to see a whole lot of him. He's going to have to figure out ways to develop, in practice, working with the coaches. He's going to have to step up, be mature, and figure out how he can up his game without getting big minutes.
And I think, anybody who goes to the NBA out of a school like Georgetown, how tough it is to make it in this league, not as, as a starter. All right, so we're almost out of time, folks, and it is the last day of the year. So very briefly, just want to go around the table. We're going to talk about our favorite DC sports moment of the year. Mike, I think you're just ready to just burst with your favorite DC sports moment of the year.
Thank you. As soon as we signed Steven Strasburg, I thought that we had the rotation. I said to myself, one of these days we're going to throw a no-hitter. I keep seeing, since I've grown up, I've never seen anyone throw a no-hitter. Like, watching it on TV myself. I see the highlights and stuff, but never experienced it. So with our pitching, I knew we were going to have one. Sucks that I was at work while it happened, and I was getting text messages from anything no-hitter, So I'm glad it was Jordan Zimmerman. I wish it was Steven Strasburg, but just because that's my favorite player. And but when he pitched that no-hitter at the last game of the year with Steven Souza's grab, what is that, center field or left field? Left field, unbelievable. I think it won the best play of the year, actually.
Oh, it had to be. Couldn't,
yeah. So that was even though I didn't watch the game, that was awesome, and that was my favorite time of the season.
Okay, Matt?
Maybe this is a little old school, but I was really excited, when spring training opened for the Nationals. They coming off a tough year, they didn't make the playoffs, but everyone was back. They were ready to get to work, and they came short of the ultimate goal. But you wish you would have seen them play a little better in that divisional series. They could have had that. It's a tough team against San Francisco, but I feel like they can do more. But seeing all the guys back, ready to work, excited to work, and I think they're going to come back next year the same way. So that was a great moment for me.
I'm going to go with Game 4 of the NBA playoffs against the Bulls. That home game that was nationally televised. Nene was suspended for that game. I just really I couldn't afford a ticket. I'm on a teacher's salary. I just was watching at home on ABC, and I just couldn't believe how rocking the Verizon Center was for the basketball team. I've been in that building for Capitals playoff games, and that place is nuts, believe me, but I didn't think that I would ever see this city get behind our basketball team like that, and it was ridiculous. Ariza hit all those three-pointers, and Wizards ran him out of the gym. After losing a very tough game that Friday night before, I didn't think they would come back with that kind of steam. But I think that's sort of becoming the personality of this Wizards basketball team. They'll take a tough loss, but then they'll come back and respond, just like they did on Christmas Day against the Knicks. Hopefully that's the personality of this basketball team. Well, unfortunately, folks, our hostess behind us is prepping for a New Year's Eve party, so we have to clear our studio.
And fill up the champagne glasses.
I don't drink. That's not good. I would never. Have a happy New Year, folks. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
Have a happy New Year. Drive safe. Tip your waitresses.